5, 6, 7, 8.
Landing gear retracted. Frameshift drive charging. Four, three, two, one, engage. Frameshift drive charging. Four, three, two, one, engage. Fuel scooping. Fuel scoop disengaged. Frameshift drive charging. Four, three, two, one, engage. Fuel scooping. Fuel scoop disengaged. Frameshift drive charging. Four, three, two, one, engage. System scan complete. Fuel scooping. Frameshift drive charging. Four, three, two, one, engage. Fuel scooping. Frameshift drive charging. Four, three, two, one, engage. Fuel scooping. Fuel scooping complete. Frameshift drive charging. Four, three, two, one, engage. Fuel scooping. Fuel scoop disengaged. Frameshift drive charging. Four, three, two, one, engage. Fuel scooping. Fuel scoop disengaged. Frameshift drive charging. Four, three, two, one, engage. Fuel scooping. Fuel scoop disengaged. Frameshift drive charging. Four, three, two, one, engage. Fuel scooping. Fuel scoop disengaged.
Tracy Bravo Oscar Oscar. The Imperial Flight Operations Bureau is honored by your presence, Commander. Approval is granted. Please proceed to Bay 4-1. We are ready to engage the automatic docking system.
Landing gear deployed.
Landing safely completed. Please shut down all systems. The services of this Imperial facility are at your disposal, Commander.
Cargo hold at maximum capacity.
desirable, and measures will be taken to restore peaceful operations.
Commence pre-flight checklist, Commander. Scheduling departure now.
Docking pads are assigned for the benefit of visitors to this facility. We politely request that pilots do not obstruct access to other guests inside the docking bay. With sadness, we must inform pilots this facility maintains an effective security division, which is mandated to respond to unacceptable behavior. Welcome to our starport and the warm embrace of Imperial service. We are pleased to offer a wide range of facilities of unparalleled quality.
Landing gear retracted.
Be careful to observe restrictions when leaving the station. Facility boundary exceeded. Please take care on your journey.
Frameshift drive charging. 4, 3, 2, 1. Engage. Incoming message.
Afro Circus, Afro Circus.
Standard flight regulations are in place around this carrier. Clearance granted. Move directly to your allocated pad. You're clear for automated approach. Please sit back and relax, Commander.
Landing gear deployed.
Landing complete. Clamps engaged. Our services are available for use, Commander.
charging. 4, 3, 2, 1, engage.
We see you on our sensors, Commander. Standard flight regulations are in place around this carrier. Permission granted. Please approach your designated landing pad. One more safe landing. Commence shutdown. Welcome, Commander.
Landing gear retracted.
Release confirmed. Departure authorized.
Scan detected. Frameshift drive charging. 4, 3, 2, 1, engage.
Recon Bravo Oscar Oscar. The Imperial Flight Operations Bureau is honored by your presence, Commander.
Draco 552, check current speed and confirm 230.
Draco 552, confirm speed 320. Over.
Access is now granted. Please head directly to Docking Bay 17. We are ready to engage the automatic docking system.
Landing gear deployed.
Docking complete. You may alight when ready. The Imperial Flight Operations Bureau welcomes you to this facility, Commander.
Cargo hold at maximum capacity. Landing gear retracted.
You have been disengaged from the dock. Please observe speed restrictions upon exiting.
Frameshift drive charging. 4, 3, 2, 1. Engage. Warning, capital class signature detected.
Carrier jump complete. Please stand by while final checks are processed.
Incoming message.
This carrier respects considerate pilots. Fly safely, Commander. Clearance granted. Move directly to your allocated pad. Docking request confirmed. Assisted approach is underway.
Landing gear deployed.
Contact confirmed. Clamps engaged. Welcome to a carrier, Commander.
Landing gear retracted.
Landing clamps disengaged. You are clear to leave.
Frameshift drive charging. 4, 3, 2, 1. Engage.
Lincoln Bravo, Oscar. The Imperial Flight Operations Bureau is honored by your presence, Commander.
Leaders respond to Azimuth Initiative. The anti-Zeno operation in HIP 22460 involving Azimuth Biotech and the superpowers.
Approval is granted. Please proceed to Bay 40. We have
Drawn comments
engaged
from prominent
auto-docking
political
protocols.
figures. Emperor Arison Lavany Duval. I agree with Senator Patrias that supporting Azimuth's proposal remains our most practical course of action. However, alternative options for tackling the Thargoid threat are required. Princess Aisling Duval. Salvation is clearly a master of self-promotion and public manipulation. I only hope that the Empire does not regret associating with this distasteful individual. Prime Minister Edmund Mahn. Our military presence in HIP 22460, coupled with the Strategic Defense Pact with Sirius Corporation, shows that the long-term security of Allied systems remains
Landing gear deployed.
our priority. Councillor Nakato Kane, two ruthless corporations with disreputable histories, and the Alliance is now collaborating with both. This is a deeply regrettable chapter in our history. President Zachary Hudson, I have every confidence in the Federal Navy to protect Salvation while the Proteus wave is prepared. This is a...
Touchdown confirmed. You may alight when ready. Welcome to the facility, Commander.
Long overdue reprisal against an intractable and relentless enemy. Shadow President Felicia Winters, Azimuth's superweapon is effective, I'll admit. But I'm unhappy with relying on this clandestine organization.
Cargo hold at maximum capacity.
Rather than an accountable anti-Xeno agency. CEO Leon Rui. Sirius Corporation is observing activities in HIP 22460 with great interest. I am keen to explore cooperation with Azimuth
Landing gear retracted.
Biotech on developing new products using Proteus wave technology. Simguru Pranav Antal, the advanced electromagnetic sciences developed by the...
Landing restraints released. Please observe speed restrictions upon exiting.
Guardians over 1 million years ago remain poorly understood, even to Utopia's keenest minds. The safety and effectiveness of Salvation's device cannot be guaranteed. Operation Witch Hunt opposes Azimuth Biotech. Pilots Federation alert. A coalition of independent commanders has been formed to destabilize Salvation's anti-Xeno organization. The Alliance, Empire and Federation are providing military backing to Azimuth Biotech, formerly Taurus Mining Ventures, to end the Thargoid threat. Many members of the Pilots Federation have also declared their support, but some have organized a resistance movement. To undermine Azimuth Biotech's presence in several systems, a series of civil actions and combat strikes are being coordinated under the banner Operation Witch Hunt. This refers to evidence that suggests Salvation's real name is Dr. Caleb Wycherley, also referred to as the Witch in several sources. The commanders are directly protesting against Salvation, claiming he is responsible for numerous illegal activities.
Facility boundary exceeded. Have a good trip, Commander.
That resulted in multiple deaths. These include developing the mycoid bioweapon for INRA, Project Seraph's inhumane experiments to create human interfaces to Thargoid ships, and the destruction of the Alexander
Frameshift drive charging.
with the loss of 4,000 crew members.
4, 3, 2, 1. Engage.
As summarized in their mission statement, we do not support a mass murderer. Salvation, we can save ourselves. Professor Albert Tesreau, former head of research at Aegis, spoke publicly in support of the operation. The superpowers have been seduced by the promises of a remorseless criminal. But as these courageous pilots prove, not everyone believes that the end justifies the means. Urgent request for supplies in HIP 22460. Pilots Federation alert. Medical and military commodities are needed to support cross-superpower operation in the HIP 22460 system. Commodore Morag Halloran, who is
We welcome your business as a carrier, Commander. Please enjoy your stay with us.
coordinating for Azimuth Biotech aboard the Bright Sentinel megaship, outlined the requirements. The Proteus wave is designed to attract the bulk of the Thargoid fleet before destroying them. We are making preparations to defend Salvation from the alien vessels until the superweapon is ready. Azimuth Biotech is offering generous payment.
Access granted. Please follow standard docking procedure, Commander.
For shipments of
You're clear for
advanced
automated
medicines,
approach.
basic
Please sit
medicines,
back
and
and relax,
reactive
Commander.
armor. These can be delivered to the heart of Taurus megaship in HIP 22460. Specially tailored ship liveries are available as additional rewards, in gratitude to those loyal commanders who are dedicated to Salvation's cause of defeating the Thargoids. The anti-Xeno task forces of the Alliance, Empire and Federation are also preparing to engage Thargoid forces in and around HIP 22460. Capital ships have been running combat drills and practicing
Landing gear deployed.
maneuvers. As yet, there is no indication when the anticipated Thargoid fleet may arrive. Salvation prepares final Thargoid battlefield. Pilots Federation alert. The HIP-22460 system will be the stage for a decisive strike against the Thargoids by Azimuth Biotech and the superpowers. The following message was broadcast across all public channels. This is Salvation. Construction of the Proteus wave has officially commenced. This version of my anti-Xeno superweapon has been designed to bring absolute victory against our adversaries. HIP-22460 will serve as the final
Landing complete. Clamps engaged. Our services are available for use, Commander.
battlefield in the Thargoid War. As with previous superweapons, we anticipate that the Guardian-based technology incorporated within the Proteus wave will once again attract the Thargoids. However, this time it will eradicate the alien threat not just from the system, but from the entire galaxy. Everyone who wishes to see this hostile species defeated once and for all should view this project as a call to arms. This is not a time for politics or debate. It is an opportunity to secure humanity's continued survival. Azimuth Biotech megaships have entered the HIP-22460 system. Commodore Morag Halloran is coordinating the operation aboard the Bright Sentinel. The heart of Taurus will serve as a delivery point for incoming resources. Two other megaships, Musashi and Glorious Prospect, are in the nearby Pleiades Sector CWUB-32 system to provide further logistical support. Alliance Defense Force, Federal Navy and Imperial Navy forces have also taken up positions in the HIP-22460 system. These ships have been modified for anti-Xeno combat, as they expect to face Thargoid vessels in greater numbers than ever previously.
Landing gear retracted.
Encountered.
Ship released.
Military
Restrict
sources
speed until
confirm
clear
that
of
although the
Ontario.
ship's experimental weaponry is being deployed somewhat prematurely, it should still prove effective. Azimuth, A Historical Perspective, Part 5. The concluding article in this series examines events leading to the resurrection of Azimuth and Salvation's plans for the future. During February and March 3308, Aegis suffered a slow death as its operations were shut down by the superpowers. Its leaders continued calling for its reinstatement, not just to battle the Thargoids but also to oppose Azimuth Biochemicals. They claimed that this sinister corporation was still performing unlicensed xenological research and was responsible for thousands of deaths. Meanwhile, the number of Thargoid incursions was increasing, perhaps in response to Salvation's Guardian-based superweapon. This culminated in a simultaneous invasion of the DDO, Novas and Sosong systems in April 3308. These were major population centers for the Alliance, Empire and Federation.
All clear. This is flight control. Signing off.
Respectively, with over 10 billion lives at risk. Salvation and the superpower militaries responded in concert. Allied, Imperial and Federal capital ships were deployed to coordinate system defenses and also host the construction of 3 new superweapons. Interviews with the admirals in charge of the anti-Xeno task forces provided an insight into how much they now relied on Salvation. The superweapons were successfully detonated in all 3 systems, but this time there were no wreckages left behind. It was unclear if these particular weapons were less effective, or if the Thargoids had anticipated their use and retreated before their vessels could be disrupted. This was nevertheless hailed as another victory for Salvation. He announced that he was working on the next generation of the devices, which would deliver a truly overwhelming strike against the Thargoid species. Increased amounts of personnel, supplies and equipment were provided to Taurus Mining Ventures to hasten development of the superweapon.
Frameshift drive charging.
In May 3308,
4, 3, 2, 1. Engage.
came a shocking revelation. Professor Albert Tesreau, former head of research at Aegis, received a tip-off leading to an abandoned outpost in the DG Canum Venaticorum system. This turned out to be a previously undiscovered base for INRA, the Intergalactic Naval Reserve Arm, which was formed to combat the Thargoids during the 32nd and 33rd centuries. The base provided evidence that INRA had contracted Azimuth Biochemicals to aid development of the mycoid virus. This was a highly controversial bioweapon used in 3151 to infect the aliens' mothership, and which helped bring about the end of the First Thargoid War. Logs recorded by Dr. Caleb Wycherley, the corporation's vice president of research, explained how he gained the nickname the Witch after being half-blinded by a live Thargoid specimen. He then vowed that under his guidance, Azimuth would devote itself to the destruction of the Thargoids. If I must be humanity's salvation, then so be it. The former leaders of
Lacom Bravo Oscar. We are pleased to have you at this Imperial facility, Commander.
is claimed.
Approval is granted. Proceed at your earliest convenience to pad 3-2. We have
Verified that
engaged
Theory,
auto-docking
Salvation, and the
protocols.
Witch were the same person, and Azimuth had been operating in the shadows for decades. Professor Tesro later revealed that the tip-off came from Subject D2, the only survivor of the Project Seraph experiments to create a human test pilot for Thargoid ships. Some believed Aegis had fabricated these logs, since Dr. Wycherley would now be over 200 years old. But although Salvation did not overtly confirm his true identity, Aegis's suspicions were validated when Taurus Mining Ventures rebranded itself as Azimuth Biotech. Salvation described how Azimuth's research division had survived as an independent organization under his control, focused exclusively on Thargoid research and preparing for interspecies conflict. There was a public outcry that the man claiming to be humanity's savior was also responsible for the mycoid bioweapon, Project Seraph, the attack on the and other illegal or unethical activities. And yet there was little reaction from the Alliance, Empire or Federation, whose militaries were now fully committed to working with Salvation to defeat the Thargoids.
Landing gear deployed.
In the past week, there have been signs that Azimuth Biotech is mobilizing its forces and preparing for a large-scale operation of some kind. This may well tie in with Salvation's promise to unveil a more powerful type.
Landing safely completed. Commencing offload. Welcome to the facility, Commander.
Of anti-Xeno superweapon. We may soon learn if Azimuth can repeat history and deliver the decisive blow to end to the Second Thargoid War. Azimuth, A Historical Perspective, Part 4. A look at the
Cargo hold at maximum capacity.
rivalry between Aegis and Salvation during the escalating war against the Thargoids. Salvation's success in purging the Thargoid presence from the Cornsar system had many repercussions, not least from the aliens themselves. Several inhabitants
Landing gear retracted.
Uncoupling sequence complete. Be careful to observe restrictions when leaving the station.
Aggressively to the Guardian-based nature of the anti-Xeno superweapon. Aegis's hands were tied by the ongoing public inquiry, but its chief military liaison Admiral Aidan Tanner was convinced that the superweapon was designed to attract Thargoids as well as repel them. Claiming that evidence for this could be found at Hind Mine in the Taurus system, he commanded the megaship Musashi to launch an assault. This was a battle that Taurus Mining Ventures won with much support from independent pilots, showing how much faith was now placed in Salvation. Tanner was court-martialed, and the captured Musashi became the flagship of Salvation's growing forces. Commodore Morag Halloran, formerly of the Alliance Defense Force, took command and became his military coordinator. By December 3307, the Alliance, Empire and Federation had officially acknowledged that Salvation possessed the technology required to defeat the Thargoids. This assumption was then put to the test when the Delphi, Maya and Merib systems suffered simultaneous full-scale invasions. Once again, the Thargoids were routed following the detonation of 3 newly constructed superweapons, repeating Salvation's success at Cornsar. His triumphant proclamations now verged on the messianic. I urge the peoples of the galaxy to unite behind my crusade. Aegis is finished. I am the only remaining defense for humanity. I am Salvation. By this point, public opinion towards Salvation was generally positive. Volunteers flocked to Taurus mining ventures to
Frameshift drive
You are all
charging.
clear to follow your predetermined flight path. Have a good
my
day.
crusade.
3.
Aegis
Jabba,
is
jabba,
finished.
jabba, jabba,
I am
jabba,
the
jabba.
only support, with naval crews from the superpowers defecting to take part in battling the Thargoids. Secondment to Salvation's forces soon became officially authorized, showing an increasing acceptance of the anonymous scientists' methods and results. January 3308 saw a number of developments. Admiral Tanner's court-martial was interrupted by a statement from the renowned scientist Ramtar, confirming the non-human origins of Salvation's superweapon. Ramtar theorized that it was based on a Guardian device found by Azimuth biochemical scientists at the Proteus site, which generated an electromagnetic pulse to disrupt the Thargoids' biomechanical vessels. But this justification of Tanner's concerns was not enough to prevent the inevitable fall of Aegis. The Bauman report delivered a damning indictment of the agency's operations, concluding that it should be shut down. The 3 superpowers began using their own militaries to replace Aegis with separate anti-Xeno task forces. A more surprising event that month was the discovery of debris from the missing megaship Alexandria, scattered across the planetary rings of Rego TCX B29-0AB2. A Captain Morales' report revealed that the ship had emerged from hyperspace off course due to sabotage, before being raided by a quasi-military force which hijacked its cargo of Guardian artifacts. The surviving crew's attempt to restart the damaged hyperdrive was the cause of the Alexandria's destruction. Morales also mentioned that the raiders were obeying orders from someone named the Witch. This detail was seized upon by Aegis's remaining leaders, who matched.
This is flight control. Access to this carrier must be authorized in advance.
To abandoned research facilities found in August 3307 within the HIP 22460 and HIP 26176 systems.
Clearance granted. Move directly to your allocated pad.
These were the sites of the mysterious Project Seraph, an attempt to install human pilots into a captured Thargoid scout. Both the Witch and Azimuth were referenced in its surviving logs. Aegis's warning was clear. Azimuth biochemicals, which was supposedly liquidated 2 centuries ago, had survived to the present day. Azimuth, A Historical Perspective, Part 3. An overview
Docking request confirmed. Assisted approach is underway.
of how Aegis was impacted by the rise of Salvation as a competing anti-Xenophage
Landing gear deployed.
force. For now, I cannot provide you with my credentials. Suffice to say that I am a man of science, politics. I am recruiting agents to investigate the work undertaken.
Landing complete. Clamps engaged. Welcome, Commander.
By Azimuth biochemicals 200 years ago, which I believe to be enormous scientific importance. Much has been lost in that time, but our dedication will allow us to rewrite history. This was how the anonymous figure known only as Salvation introduced himself to Pilots Federation members in April 3300.
Landing gear retracted.
Ship has released.
Faceless and voiceless,
Restrict speed
he
until
remains
clear of our
unseen
carrier.
to the present day. His His messages characterized him as a dedicated scientist, one with enormous confidence in achieving his goal to destroy the Thargoids and save all of humanity. It was clear that Salvation possessed detailed knowledge about azimuth biochemicals, without which the Hesperus would not have been discovered. He began recruiting independent pilots to undertake missions via the intermediary of Taurus Mining Ventures, a corporation based in the remote T-Tauri system. After locating the Proteus in June 3307, Salvation claimed exclusive rights to exploit the ancient Guardian Thargoid battleground on Trapezium Sector UXC-121A. This was contested by Aegis, but their initiative to gather Guardian artifacts from the site was eclipsed by Taurus Mining Ventures' campaign. In a short time, Salvation successfully emerged as a rival to Aegis, claiming that the Tri-Superpower Agency could not be trusted. This was reinforced after the tragic loss of the Alexandria megaship. Due to its cargo of Guardian artifacts, Thargoids had relentlessly pursued the megaship before it vanished in hyperspace. An independent inquiry into the disaster ordered Aegis's operations to be suspended, leaving an absence that Salvation was keen to exploit. In September 3307, Salvation warned of an impending Thargoid attack in the Khonsar system, apparently detected by his version of Eagle Eye. Aegis and local factions dismissed this as highly unlikely, but nevertheless Thargoid vessels did swarm into the system.
Frameshift drive charging.
Salvation again reached out to pilots and asked
Ready to engage.
them to transport vital equipment from a Taurus Mining Ventures megaship to Khonsar for a prototype weapon that he was
4, 3, 2, 1, engage.
constructing. A counter-initiative took place by commanders who distrusted Salvation or supported Aegis, illustrating that each now had their supporters among the galactic community. 4 days later, the Thargoid invasion force unexpectedly vanished from Khonsar. Most withdrew into hyperspace, but crashed alien vessels remained on some planetary bodies. Salvation revealed he had developed an anti-Xeno superweapon, capable of eliminating the Thargoid presence from an entire star system. I have achieved what Aegis could not, an effective deterrent against the alien threat. The
Lacom Bravo Oscar. The Imperial Flight Operations Bureau is honored by your presence, Commander.
nature of this incredible new weapon remained unclear, but evidence of Guardian technology later found in Khonsar raised a disturbing possibility. Did Salvation really detect the approaching Thargoid fleet, or did he deliberately attract the Thargoids to Khonsar by stockpiling huge quantities of Guardian artifacts, as happened on the Alexandria, in order to test his prototype superweapon? As a Vox Galactica report put it, time will tell if Salvation's ambition to replace Aegis is a noble goal, or if we are replacing the devil we know with a darker demon. Azimuth. A Historical Perspective, Part 2. A summary of key events around the rise and fall of the Tri-Superpower Organization Aegis. The Alliance, Empire and Federation created Aegis in 3303 to lead xenological research and coordinate defensive actions against the Thargoids. With fears that the alien species might one day overwhelm human-controlled space, Aegis's role was to spearhead the resistance against a common enemy. There were concerns that Aegis might adopt the same unethical practices as its notorious predecessor INRA, which had been formed back in 3125 during the First Thargoid War. But the new agency was welcomed by most, providing intelligence on Thargoid activity as well as advanced weapons. Since capital ships were vulnerable to the Thargoid shutdown field, Aegis soon had no choice but to rely heavily on independent pilots to perform ship-to-ship combat. And despite its effectiveness at coordinating defense, it was criticized for having no strategy to actually defeat the alien threat. By 3306, Aegis already showed signs of decline. Its Eagle Eye detection network had ceased to provide warnings about Thargoid attacks, and there were no new developments in anti-Xeno weaponry. The rise of the NMLA had altered the political landscape, with funding for Aegis being redirected toward countering the terrorists and preparing for possible federal imperial war. In March 3307, the Galactic Summit failed to ratify the Sirius Treaty, which would have united superpowers, corporations, and independent systems against the Thargoids. Instead,
Be aware of weapons restrictions in this area, Commander. Retract your hardpoints. Your docking
Aegis was
request has been
directed to
approved.
undertake new
Please head
research
directly
into the
to docking
Guardians.
bay
Their
10.
extinct civilization was thought to hold the key to outmatching the Thargoids.
We are ready to engage the automatic docking system.
Biomechanical technology. A successful initiative in May 3307 resulted in enormous quantities of Guardian artifacts being delivered to the Aegis megaship Alexandria. Thargoid vessels were drawn to this concentration of technology created by their ancient enemy and pursued the Alexandria from system to system. When the megaship did not emerge from a hyperspace jump, it was assumed to have been intercepted and destroyed. An independent board of inquiry was established to investigate the loss of the Alexandria. So thorough was this investigation that most of Aegis's activities were suspended, and many
Landing gear deployed.
leading figures forced to resign. Public confidence in the agency was low, with a general sense that it was no longer fit for purpose. In November 3307, Aegis was brought further into disrepute when its chief military liaison went rogue. Admiral Aidan Tanner led an unauthorized assault against Hind Mine in the Taurus system, the headquarters of Salvation's corporate ally Taurus Mining Ventures. Tanner was convinced that Salvation's activities deliberately provoked the Thargoids and that the starport contained evidence of this. His actions would result in failure and court-martial, accelerating Aegis's fall from grace. The Bauman Report, which published the inquiry's findings,
Docking complete. Commencing offload. Welcome to the facility, Commander.
in January 3308, exposed endemic weaknesses including negligence, poor management, and the treatment of pilots as disposable mercenaries. The casualties resulting from the Alexandria disaster and the Hind Mine attack were the final nails in the agency's coffin. The Alliance, Empire, and Federation announced that Aegis would be replaced by devolved anti-Xeno task forces. Its support megaships, still active during Thargoid incursions, were crewed by volunteers until the Combat Logistics Corporation Frontline Solutions agreed to operate them. Even after the true fate of the Alexandria was discovered, along with data supporting Admiral Tanner's suspicions, the collapse of Aegis was by now irreversible. For in recent months, Salvation had achieved impressive results on a scale that no military power could hope to match. Azimuth, A Historical Perspective, Part 1. Beginning a multi-part overview of historical events surrounding Azimuth Biochemicals and its connection to the mysterious Salvation. On the 29th of October 3306, an abandoned megaship named the Adamastor arrived in the Chukchan system, after traveling at sublight speeds for nearly 200 years. At the time, no one could have foreseen the wide-ranging consequences that would arise from unlocking the secrets of this ghost ship. Investigations revealed that it had been owned by a little-known and long-defunct corporation called Azimuth Biochemicals. The derelict's journey was traced to the previously unexplored Coalsack Nebula, where the Adamastor had collected the survivors of a planetary survey team from the Musca Dark Region PJP P6-1 system. Back in 3111, these geologists had encountered something terrifying and completely unknown, the first recorded instance of contact with the Thargoids. According to team leader Professor Carver, whose final log was discovered on HIP 692001b, a recovered alien artifact caused equipment malfunctions and delusions among the crew. The damaged Adamastor was abandoned, to finally return home on autopilot 2 centuries later. Further exploration of the Coalsack Nebula uncovered nothing more, but did lead to the detection of new barnacle sites. The Alliance wasted no time in harvesting these for meta-alloys, followed by a Sirius Corporation project to terraform ammonia worlds. A resurgence of attacks from Thargoid vessels followed, suggesting that the alien species was as territorial as ever. In April 3307, the Adamastor began receiving a long-range encrypted signal. A decryption key for this was provided by an anonymous source who identified himself only as Salvation. Tracking the signal led to the wreck of the Hesperus, the Adamastor's sister ship. This had disappeared in 3113 and was now drifting in the Perseus Dark Region KCVC-22 system. The distress call had been triggered by a dredger occupied by the nomadic Scriveners clan, who had salvaged the Hesperus's data drives. Messages leaked from the dredger revealed how the Hesperus had been taken over by sleeper agents from Pharmasapien, the corporate rivals of Azimuth Biochemicals. This resulted in the deaths of all except a scientific team who had escaped aboard a secondary craft. 2 months later, the enigmatic Salvation asked pilots to track down the Hesperus's signal beacons to find those missing Azimuth crew members. The secondary craft, named Proteus, was subsequently discovered on a moon in the Trapezium Sector YUXC-12 system. Its crew had transformed it into a research facility to study relics from a nearby ancient battleground between the Guardian and Thargoid races.
Cargo hold at maximum capacity.
The security officer's log told of Azimuth's real purpose: locate non-human technology and weaponize it for the military market. The scientists had conducted dangerous experiments on Guardian crystals, accidentally triggering a radiation surge which wiped them all out. It seemed that Azimuth's story ended there, nearly 200 years ago. But the fate of the Proteus would have enormous repercussions for the future of the galaxy. Pro-Sirius delivery campaign eclipses rival. Pilots Federation alert. The Alliance Assembly has approved the Alliance-Sirius Defense Pact, with the final vote upholding the motion. Members of the Assembly had been evenly split on the issue of ratifying anti-Xeno military cooperation between the Alliance
Landing gear retracted.
and Sirius
You have been
Corporation.
disengaged
The
from the
efforts
dock.
of the
Depart
pro-pact
when ready.
councillors to collect resources for the Alliance Defense Force swayed the final few votes to their side. The Alliance has confirmed that a greater number of commodities were delivered to the Sirius Corporation megaship Kumaho Sky than to Prus Terminal, which Sol Salutis Aeternum offered as a delivery point. These resources will be ceremonially presented for allocation by the Council of Admirals in the coming days. Liang Rui has welcomed the result and has expressed optimism for the future of the Anti-Xeno Pact. Anti-Sirius campaign leaders have confirmed that they will contribute all campaign donations to the Alliance Defense Force as a goodwill gesture. Which Sol Salutis Sirius Corporation has announced that those who delivered computer components, reinforced mounting plates and synthetic reagents can collect rewards from Kumaho Sky, including a unique pre-engineered high-capacity Axe fixed missile launcher for the majority of contributors. Sol Salutis Aeternum has also prepared rewards for its supporters at Prus Terminal. They will contribute all campaign for the top 25 contributors. Superpowers stand with Azimuth. The Alliance, Empire and Federation will continue collaborating with Salvation and Azimuth Biotech on anti-Xeno operations. Political journalist Conrad Sterling reviewed the latest developments for Vox Galactica. We now know the truth. Azimuth not only survived, but was responsible for many controversial activities. It contributed to the mycoid virus's development, coordinated with Black Flight and oversaw Project Seraph. Now, this notorious organization enjoys the trust of all three superpowers to eliminate the Thargoid threat. Vocal members of the Assembly, Congress and Senator...
Station limits exceeded. Imperial Flight
Friendship
Operations
drive
Bureau
charging.
wishes you a fond farewell.
Paul.
4, 3, 2, 1. Engage.
For everyone at Azimuth Biotech, formerly Taurus Mining Ventures, to be arrested as criminals. Professor Albert Tesreau has demanded justice for the crew of the Alexandria, which was sabotaged by Azimuth to obtain its cargo of Guardian artifacts. But allied, Federal and Imperial leaders have all deferred to their militaries to determine a course of action until the current war's end. Their perspective can be summed up by Admiral Maxton Price's comment, "Without Salvation's superweapon, we will be locked in conflict with the Thargoids forever." Many still claim that the INRA outpost at DG Canum Vinaticorum was faked by Aegis loyalists. Others noted that Salvation did not confirm that he is Caleb Wucheli, and is potentially a far younger man building upon his predecessor's research. The reality is that the momentum of Salvation's campaign is now too strong to be diverted. As is often the case during wartime, legality and morality have been set aside to focus on achieving victory. Azimuth has done more than just... survive. It has triumphed. Azimuth Resurgent. Salvation has announced that his partner
Welcome, Commander. Please request docking permission before approaching a landing pad.
organization Taurus Mining Ventures is a modern incarnation of Azimuth Biochemicals. The revelation came via a public statement across all media channels. This is Salvation. In light of recent speculation, we are rebranding Taurus Mining Ventures as Azimuth Biotech. My intent is to prove that Azimuth...
Access granted. Please proceed to your landing pad, Commander. You're clear
There's
for
no further
automated
need to
approach.
conceal
Please
its
sit back and
operations.
relax, Commander.
2 centuries ago, Azimuth's pioneers first acquired evidence of the alien creatures now referred to as Thargoids. My research division focused exclusively on studying this life form and preparing for the inevitable interspecies conflict. When Azimuth Biochemicals was commercially overtaken by Pharmasapien over a century ago, I ensured key assets and personnel were removed from company records prior to the acquisition. We continued our
Landing gear deployed.
search in secret, free from shareholders and corporate espionage. Since then, my team has led multiple projects to develop necessary advancements for the inevitable war. Our work with INRA on the mycoid virus was one early success. More recently, locating the Proteus in trapezium sector YUXC12 provided us with a key breakthrough in weaponizing Guardian technology. My anti-Xeno superweapon has already saved billions of lives. Azimuth Biotech is currently developing the next generation of this weapon, with which I intend to permanently cripple the Thargoid war machine. K-level.
Landing successful. Cleared to disembark. Our services are available for use, Commander.
Actually is no more, but his accomplishments laid the foundations for the man I have become. A man whose life goal has always been to save humanity from extinction. A renewed journey for the Golconda. The generation ship Golconda has departed from the Upaniclis system with much of its former population on board. 3 years ago, the Golcondans abandoned their ship and resettled at the Forester's Choice outpost in Upaniclis. Approximately 60% of these 70,000 people have now elected to resume their itinerant lifestyle aboard the vessel, which was recently upgraded with modern megaship technology by the Artificers clan. The Federation has made assurances that the Golconda is under its protection and is equipped with comms systems to summon aid if needed. The Forester's Choice outpost remains operational and will continue to export Apavieti, a unique alcoholic spirit. Shortly before the Golconda made its first jump into hyperspace, Vox Galactica published a statement from Commander Javi Alvarado. The last few weeks...
Landing gear retracted.
been a bittersweet
Landing
experience for me,
disengaged.
watching these
Restrict
people
speed
prepare to
until clear
return
of
to their old
area.
home. My plan was to keep making trade runs to the outpost, but when Captain Forrester asked me to join them on their voyage, I agreed without hesitation. It's hardwired into Golcondan culture to distrust outsiders, so I know what a rare honor this invitation is. The Golconda can now leap rather than crawl between the stars, and the whole galaxy is its horizon. For the first time in my piloting career, I have no idea what my destination is, but at least I'll be traveling in the company of born explorers. Alliance Sirius Military Pact to be decided. Pilots Federation alert. The Digian system is hosting competing campaigns as the Alliance Assembly votes on the Strategic Defense Pact. The Assembly is evenly split over formalizing military ties with Sirius Corporation to enhance defensive options against the Thargoids, with a decision expected at the end of June. In advance of the vote, both pro-Pact and anti-Sirius councillors are attempting to sway colleagues to their cause by securing a sizable resource package for the Alliance Defense Force. Pro-Pact councillors have established their initiative in Dijian from the Sirius megaship Kumaho Sky and are asking for shipments of computer components, reinforced mounting plates, and synthetic reagents. These counselors have heavily promoted the need for enhanced fleet support in the face of increased
Frameshift drive charging.
Thargoid activity. Noted
4, 3, 2, 1. Engage.
Engineer Marco Quent recently confirmed his support for an allied anti-Xeno pact with Sirius. The anti-Sirius lobby has requested deliveries of the same commodities to Proust Terminal in the Digian system. The system's controlling faction, Sol Salutis Aeternum, is overseeing contributions. Engineers Uma Laszlo and Beal Turner have both expressed a hope that the anti-Xeno pact with Sirius is denied. To encourage support from pilots, each campaign is offering extra incentives. The majority of contributors to the Kumaho Sky campaign will receive a pre-engineered high-capacity Axe fixed missile launch.
Lakon Bravo Oscar. The Imperial Flight Operations Bureau is honored by your presence, Commander.
Among other awards, courtesy of Sirius Corporation. Sol Salutis Aeternum is instead offering a Stock Alliance chieftain to a limited number of Proust Terminal campaign contributors. Other awards are available for contributors outside.
Permission granted. Please proceed to Bay 40.
This number. Xenological Project receives Thargoid artifact.
Scan detected.
Pilots Federation alert.
Hull integrity compromised.
We have engaged auto-docking protocols.
A range of alien objects have been delivered to the ARC system for Professor Ishmael Palin's study of the Thargoids. The conclusion of the project was announced by Professor Palin. I am highly impressed with the number of Thargoid probes, resonance sensors that were delivered to Able Laboratory. Collecting and transporting these items can be a hazardous task, so I deeply appreciate the effort made by pilots to obtain them. It is becoming increasingly urgent to improve our understanding of the Thargoids' biomechanical technology. There is no sign that hostilities are about to end, so the need to produce defenses has become paramount. Only through ensuring our research focuses on up-to-date samples can we be sure that we are working as efficiently as possible. Contributors can now collect their rewards from Baird Gateway in the ARC system. This includes Grade 5 engineered heavy-duty hull reinforcement packages for eligible
Landing gear deployed.
contributors. Salvation and the Superpowers. The Alliance, Empire and Federation have responded coolly to accusations that Salvation has hidden links to Azimuth Biochemicals and INRA. Vox Galactica published a report from political correspondent Conrad Sterling. Salvation has always been a contentious figure.
Landing successful. You may alight when ready. We are glad to have you with us at this station, Commander.
And the logs found in the DG Canum Vinaticorum system have polarized public opinion further. Some are enraged that Salvation may have history with INRA or be responsible for the loss of the Alexandria.
Cargo hold at maximum capacity.
Others believe Aegis's claims to be false, a desperate attempt to save themselves. But how have the superpowers reacted? The Empire is taking a pragmatic view, with Senator Denton Patrias focusing on the strategic objective of defeating the Thargoids. As he bluntly told the Senate, nothing in the Imperial Armory comes close to matching the anti-Xeno superweapon's devastating capabilities. In the Federation, Fleet
Landing gear retracted.
Uncoupling sequence complete. Be careful to observe restrictions when leaving the station.
Tayo Mikori has revived his investigation into Salvation and is hoping to authenticate the INRA logs. But other federal leaders have adopted a wait-and-see approach, refusing to be drawn on the controversy. A broader range of reactions can be heard from the Alliance, albeit with little change in policy. Admiral Rachel Ziegler acknowledged that the accusations must be taken seriously, but added, "With the Sirius Corporation Defense Pact still under debate, and the Alliance lacking a proper naval force, we must continue to utilize all military options available to us." Alliance divided over anti-Xeno Pact. The proposed strategic defense partnership with Sirius Corporation is being hotly debated within the Alliance Assembly. Vanya Driscoll, political journalist with the Alliance Tribune, reported on the situation. Sirius Corporation's offer to provide support against the Thargoids has caused considerable disruption this year. There was a conflict and push for independence in the Riot system, with a Sirius Navy representative joining the Council of Admirals. A 3-month trial period ended with some achievements, including an increased military presence in the Coalsack and Witchhead colonies and logistical support of the recent Alliance Defense Force deployment to DDO. But it seems not enough was done to sway the majority of
Flight assist off.
opponents. Prime Minister Edmund Marn is gambling that he has earned
Flight assist on.
enough political capital to have the Strategic Defense Pact ratified. Many government figures welcome the prospect of increased military strength. Mahon's suggestion that this might result in an expanded alliance was especially compelling. Councillor Nakato Kane is taking the opposite view, successfully tapping into widespread concerns over Sirius Corporation's motives. She argues that the Megacorp has not proven capable of defending Allied systems against Thargoid attack, despite the terms of the trial period preventing Sirius from
Station limits exceeded. Please take care on your journey.
deploying its fleet to active Allied engagements. Council members are
Frameshift drive charging.
flocking to support either Marn or Kane.
4, 3, 2, 1. Engage.
Although dozens remain undecided, it's clear that both sides will soon strive to sway public opinion in order to influence the Assembly's deciding vote at the end of this month. Project Seraph victim seeks revenge. The location of an INRA base in the DG Canum Vinaticorum system was revealed by a survivor of the notorious Project Seraph. Professor Albert Tesreau, former head of research at Aegis, initially received the tip-off from an anonymous source but has now provided clarification. Further communication with my source revealed she was once a candidate of Project Seraph, a now abandoned operation run by Azimuth Biochemicals several
Read the owner census, Commander. Standard flight regulations are in place around this carrier.
years ago. At the Oaken Point facility in the HIT 26176 system, scientists attempted to directly interface with Thargoid scout vessels by grafting neural and physiological implants into living subjects. Most of these horrific experiments ended in failure or death, but the subject classified as D2 escaped from Oaken Point by stowing away on a trader's ship. Since then she has used her
Access granted. Please follow standard docking procedure, Commander.
knowledge to investigate Azimuth, confirming Aegis's belief that the corporation is still active.
You're clear for automated approach. Please sit back and relax, Commander.
D2 asked me to make the following message public. Tell the witch that I remember everything. I want
Landing gear deployed.
you to know that the truth came from me. The INRA base's logs suggest that Salvation's real name is Dr. Caleb Wycherley, Azimuth Biochemicals' Vice President of Research at the time of recording. If D2's accusation is true, it would mean that Wycherley has survived for over 2 centuries and was conducting unauthorized xenological experiments under the pseudonym The Witch. Many supporters of Salvation believe
Contact confirmed. Clear to disembark. Welcome to a carrier, Commander.
that the Project Seraph logs were fabricated by Aegis to undermine their rivals' anti-Xeno operations. Neither Salvation nor his partners, Taurus Mining Ventures, have yet made an official statement. Thargoid Research Project Phase 2 begins. Pilots Federation alert. Professor Ishmael Palin has requested deliveries of Thargoid artifacts to the ARC system for scientific study. The first phase of the project took place last month and focused on meta-alloys. In a public announcement, Professor Palin outlined the second phase. My ongoing analysis of the Thargoid's biomechanical technology has reached